My name is Mrs. Nash, and I would like to read you a story today called The Magpie's Treasure. The Magpie's Treasure. On a faraway hill, in a lonely tree, lived Magnus Magpie. He spent lazy days slurping the slimiest worms and chasing pheasants, and in the evenings he went out thieving. Yes, unfortunately, Magpie was a bird with an eye for burglary. He stole only the brightest, shiniest, most dazzling things and stashed them secretly in a hollow at the top of his tree. He stole a dancing diva's shimmering shoe and pinched a pinnacle from the Taj Mahal. He stole crystal chandeliers and couldn't resist shiny sweets. He even took Her Majesty's most magnificent emerald egg cup and went absolutely wild in the button factory. But the thing Magnus wanted most of all was the moon. It glowed more brightly than all the treasure in his hoard. So one night he took a deep breath and took off towards the stars. Magnus flew higher than he had ever flown before, and just as he thought he could not flap another feather, not even for 50 fried worms, he reached the moon. But the moon wasn't shiny at all. It was dusty and grey and covered in rocks. Dull as woodlouse stew, called Magnus crossly, stupid, mouldy old moon. He felt very tired and lonely. He wanted to go home. Magnus looked around for his tree, but all he could see was the great big star, speckled blackness. He began to cry. Then, all of a sudden, his burglar's eye spotted something dazzling through the darkness, like thousands of emeralds and sapphires. "Home!" he cried, with a joyful crackle. Magnus soared up into the air and flew as fast as he could towards the gleaming light. Magnus forgot he was tired as he hurtled through space, whizzing over the earth. He didn't even glance at the glittering landmarks below. He made a beeline for his tree. When Magnus finally reached home, he had quite a shock. There, in his tree, a glossy-winged magpie was enjoying a beetly breakfast. "Care for a lick?" she asked, as she munched on a mouthful of mayfly. Magnus peered into his nest. His treasure seemed to have lost its sparkle. Diamonds seemed a little bit too flashy for a magpie. He decided to give up burgling for good. Magnus Magpie still spends his days slurping up worms and chasing pheasants, but he is no longer alone. And what happened to Magnus's treasure? He took it all back, every single bit. Well, except for one thing. And he found a very good use for that.